sensitization among the stakeholders, like teachers, research scholars, those who are associated with higher education system in this country. So UGC through MMTC has taken up marathon exercise to create awareness among the stakeholders, because it is very important. These are the teachers who are the real picture in implementation of the NEP. Though there are set of regulatory bodies who have designed and adopted the NEP, but large responsibility is on the teachers for proper implementation and execution of the NEP 2020. So in this regard, such kind of training program are very, very important. So my topic of today is multidisciplinary and holistic approach in the National Education Policy of 2020. Prior to that, let me share some of the earlier education policy. That I mean, prior to 2020, let us brief about earlier national policy on education. So from the last 30 years. This why it is important to throw light on the earlier education policy of this country is this particular NEP builds on National Policy on Education of 1968 and after one National Policy of Education of 1986. So the National Policy on Education of 1968 and National Policy of Education of 1986 are the they completely overviewed these two and for gone through what are the gaps which these earlier policy and try to plug in this. So let us throw on some light on earlier National Policy of Education of 1968 and 1986 brief. The National Policy of Education 1968 emphasized universal access and scientific temper. After independence, there were many education policy. In fact, after a gap of, from 1947, 50s, 60s, many survey and many research have clearly shown that the present system of education is not accessible to each and everyone in the society. It is very, very important to make our education policy accessible to each and everyone in the society. In this regard, the National Policy on Education of 1968 gave more emphasis on universal access of our higher education and also focused scientific temper. So by this time, there was a sea change in the global higher education system, and India also tried to made its attempt to catch the changing scenario at the both national and global level. They try to bring scientific temper in the higher education. And another aspect of NPE of 1968, it is aimed for free and compulsory education up to age 14 and importantly targeted 6% of GDP investment in education. Unfortunately, even today, this is not happened. That is 6% of GDP invest in the education system in this country. So then NPE of 1986, National Policy of 1986, refined the earlier policy and brought more with vision focusing on equity. By this time, by 1980s, there was a lot of disparities among the youth in terms of accessing higher education in this country. So they gave emphasis on element of equity and vocational education. The unemployment was increasing. It was thought to provide a skill to the growing youth, educated youth. They brought the vocational education in the country and try to bridge the gender gap. So by this time, there was a lot of imbalances in access to education, not only in terms of caste, creed, and region, in terms of gender also. So though these policies were well planned, 68 and 1986, they tried to cater the needs at that time. However, the greater problem with these two earlier policy was they struggled a lot in terms of implementation of this policy. So earlier policy, though led groundwork, but as I said, struggled with implementation, leaving many unresolved challenges, which made the NEP 2022 tackled. So NEP 2020 emerges as the first 21st century policy of this country, addressing gaps in access, quality, and most importantly, modernization. So, if you let us spend few minutes on the earlier education policy of 68 and 86. So, NPE of 1968 set ambitious goals in terms of achieving the gross enrollment rate and also in terms of making 6% of GDP to invest in education. And NPE of 1986 introduced Operation Blackboard and stressed teaching training. So today it's MMTCs, earlier called HRDCs, prior to that Academic Staff College. So these establishment of such training institutions are part of NPE of 1986. They understood, by this time they understood there is a need of training the teachers of higher education. So around 80 to 90 academic staff colleges in this country have been set up to train the teachers of higher education. So today these are called as MMTC, Malaviya Mission Teachers Training. So even though all these things, initiations have been made in earlier education policy of 1968 and up towards 1986, but the expected achievements could not happen. Of course, some progress have been made, but expected achievements could not take place through these earlier two policies. So with this background, the NEP 2020 promises a holistic overhaul, learning from past incremental gains and systematic shortcoming. So we can draw the conclusion with these things are that NEP 2020 as a bold scope, it reflects lessons from 1968 and 1986. It clearly overviewed 1968 and 1986 policy and thought of bringing overall change in the education system in this country. So its success in this, the NEP 2020, success in this on overcoming historical funding. So investment is most essential, particularly in this country's education scenario. Still, the investment in education is very very low in terms of the proportion of GDP which is being spent in the education sector compared to other nations of the world. Till it is very very low. So various reports and various the committee have strongly recommended that at least 6% of GDP must be invested in education. So for success of NEP, clearly depends on the investment in the education. So dear participants, so my request is let it be more of interactive, because one way kind of my presentation may not be that helpful to you, that too after the post lunch. So many of you already undergone the this new education policy in terms of curricular design, in terms of implementation at your higher education institutions. What I request you all is, if you have any question, you can stop me at any time, and if you have anything to add on, you are most welcome. So let it be more of interactive. So rather than a one-way talk. Of course, I understand there are a lot of the difficulties in handling the such kind of talks through online, but by making more participative approach by the participants, we can reduce the constraints. We try to reach the audience more with more clarity. Okay. So now let us start with the national education policy after reviewing the earlier two education policy of 1968 and 1986. So let us focus how NEP 2020 try to bringing transformation in India's education landscape. It is the first policy in post-independence which has made huge, the discussion among the politicians. Earlier many educations have brought in, but such a kind of huge discussion among all, including the politicians, educationists, general public as well. So this policy has made a huge impact so far. So as we know all, this policy is introduced by Ministry of Human Resource Development. Now it is called Department of Education, Government of India. It launched in the year 2020 to overhaul India's education system to bring a transformation in Indian education landscape. It tried to aims to align education with 21st century needs and Indian values. This is most important. The two pillar of NEP 2020 is they try to cater the needs of 21st century. And most importantly, with Indian ethos, Indian values, because India is known for creation of knowledge since thousands of years. India had a great higher education institutions like Nalanda and Taxila many years ago. India hosted the best the faculty of the world who were visiting and who were at Nalanda and Taxila, and India through Nalanda and Taxila attracted the talented students across the globe. India is known for historically in terms of creation and dissemination of knowledge, and most importantly application of such kind of knowledge for betterment of the society. So the 21st, the NEP aims to align education with the 21st century needs and Indian values. And most importantly, it sets a long-term vision. This is most important. So long-term vision of what? Vision for equitable. Equitable in the sense, make our education accessible to each and everyone. Each and everyone. That means make our education to all the citizens of this country. So that is what this NEP has a long-term vision of equity and quality. And more stress is given on quality with incorporation of the suitable skills which make our the students more employable, not only in this country, even at the global level. So NEP sets an ambitious stone, which no policy have set such a kind of ambitious stone earlier. And of course, but success depends on execution across India's diverse socio-economic landscape. India is most diverse country in the world. So the proper implementation of this NEP really a challenging task, looking at the diverse socio-economic landscape of this country. Looking at the vision of NEP 2020, this NEP, a vision for a knowledge superpower. NEP seeks to position India as a global leader in knowledge creation by 2040. India was a global knowledge creator many years ago, and it has brought its knowledge creation in many terms. And that is, we all know, but it wants to regain its glory in terms of NEP, the proper implementation of NEP. It seeks position India as a global leader in knowledge creation by the year 2040, and emphasis equitable access to high quality education for each and everyone. Roots education in India's ethos while fostering global competitiveness. Through NEP, Indian higher education wants to be globally competitive. It wants to be globally competitive in terms of knowledge creation, dissemination, and its applications for betterment of the society with important thing that is with India's ethos. It aligns with sustainable development goal. As we know, there are 17 such a goal one of which is inclusive education. I have been telling, as in this country, there is huge, diversity in terms of religion, caste, color, economic inequality, regional disparities, and boundary issues, and this and that. It's very, very important to make our education more inclusive. So, so one of the sustainable development goals is to make education inclusiveness. So it aims for that. So the vision is aspirational, but lacks specifically in bridging urban-rural divide and funding mechanism. Two things which we notice looking at the vision of the NEP is the same policy sometimes may not fit for rural area. And most importantly, what is a funding mechanism? Not a single word we notice in NEP that what is a funding mechanism for proper implementation and addressing the infrastructure bottleneck. Uh, can you hear me, please? Do you have any questions so far? Whatever I talked, I need some kind of participation from you all. Yes. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nothing.
Is everything going well?
Well, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I need your participation. So if I go simply like this, and it may not be enjoyable from my side and from your side as well. Do you have any questions so far, whatever I discussed? Yes. Who is the leader?
Already decided, sir.
Yeah. So the leader can speak at least. Is my side going well or?
Going well, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you.
sir.
Okay, I'm not able to find any other voices except you. Anyway, so let me focus on NEP fundamental principles. So the fundamental principles of NEP are recognizing, identifying, and fostering the unique capabilities of each student. This is very, very important. If you look at present education system, is something different. This does not focus on unique capability of each student. Each and every student are unique in their own way. They have the unique capabilities. Some may be very good in studies by scoring more, and some may be very good in terms of presenting. Some may be very good in other aspect other than what we generally try to see. Measure the merit in among the student. Generally, merit among student we see in terms of their score. But other than this, there are some students that are very unique in other tasks. But NEP, what it tries to do is it try to recognize, identify, and most importantly, fostering the unique capability of each students to promote her or his holistic development. This is most important. Overall development of a children in terms of intellectual, in terms of knowledge, in terms of skill, in terms of ethical values, in terms of the spirituality, and in terms of how to lead a this dignified life in the society. So this aims for holistic development of the student, and most importantly, the flexibility. There is so much of flexibility in the NAP, so that the learners can select their learning trajectories and programs. So there are no rigid silos which were there earlier, but the present NEP is more flexible. It's of learner centric. Earlier was a teacher centric. This NEP is a learner centric. See, the NEP is tuned such a way that a learner can select the learning trajectories and program, and thereby choose their own path in life according to their talents and interest. And another important fundamental principle of NEP is multidisciplinary and holistic education. This is what we are focusing in detail today. I will explain in detail how the NEP is multidisciplinary. That is how it aligns with many subjects and try to bring all these discipline under single umbrella and makes the students gives the flexibility to students to choose various subjects belongs across a discipline. And holistic education, as I said just now, the NEP aims for bringing a holistic development in the child. So the multidisciplinary and holistic education across the sciences, social sciences and arts, humanities and sports for a multidisciplinary world. So we'll discuss in detail as we move on with regard to multidisciplinary and holistic education. And another principle of NEP is it emphasis on conceptual understanding. That is most important rather than rote learning. So today's education, I mean, what we undergone earlier prior to NEP, it was even without understanding the things, just by remembering, if you write in the exam, the students could have got more marks. But that may not be useful when it comes to dissemination of knowledge and application of knowledge. For proper dissemination of knowledge and most importantly, better application of knowledge in a better way for the betterment of society, conceptual understanding is very important. So NEP emphasis on conceptual understanding rather than rote learning. So critical thinking, another important aspect of NEP. The critical thinking is very much important. You know, it encourages logical decision. With critical thinking, we can, come out with logical decision, and this makes, more of bringing innovation, ethics, and human and constitutional values and life skills such as communication, teamwork, leadership, and resilience. So these are all, the most important aspect of NEP. And I'll repeat: conceptual understanding, critical thinking, bringing logical decision, innovation, ethics, human and constitutional values, and life skills such as communication, teamwork, leadership, and resilience. So these are what we call NEP. Is holistic. Holistic education. So NEP aims for holistic education. Holistic education is an education which takes care of all these things in learning stage of a student. This is what NEP is called as a holistic, because it consists of it focus more on overall, I mean, holistic development of a student, not just giving knowledge, not just making students to score more. It is a holistic because of it takes care of all these things. And another other principles of NEP are extensive use of technology. In the modern world, the things are moving very fast. So there is a need of adopting the technology which are changing very fast in the world. So this NEP talks on extensive use of technology in teaching and learning. And it tried to remove the language barriers, increasing access to Divyanga students, physically disabled student, and educational planning and management. And another aspect of NEP is to respect for diversity and respect for local context in all curriculum. It try to emphasize need to add all kinds of local diversity, and try to incorporate the certain local knowledge in the curriculum, pedagogy, and policy. As I said, equity and inclusion are the cornerstone of all educational decisions to ensure that all the students are able to thrive in the education system. So this NEP aims for all these things, along with the bringing environmental responsibility among the student. So this NEP rootedness and pride in India, India's ethos, India's values, India's diverse culture, its ancient and modern culture, language, knowledge system, and traditions all have been taken care in the NEP principles. So this is how we notice the NEP is try to bring a great transformative in this country. So this, so let us see what are the transformative initiatives. After discussing what is NEP and what are the basic principles of NEP, and let us see what are the transformative initiative in NEP. So introducing holistic and multidisciplinary at undergraduate education that would help and develop overall all capacities, in all capacities of human being. So what kind of all capacities of human being? Intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, ethical, and moral in an integrated manner. This is what we call holistic education. So holistic education is a education which emphasizes on all capacities of human being, maybe intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, ethical, and moral in an integrated manner. And it also tried to incorporate soft skill, which are very essential for improving the employability level of the student, such as complex problem solving, critical thinking, creative thinking, communication skill, and rigorous specialization in a chosen field. So this is how the NEP aims for. Not only try to bring a holistic education, along with that, how to prepare our students to meet the global challenges, how to make our students globally employable, globally competitive, and how to make our the knowledge more at globally competitive in terms of learning and in terms of application. So this is how we see a two-pronged approaches of NEP. At one side, it aims for develop all capacities of human being, which are very essential for a good citizen of this country, along with, and most importantly, how to make our young educated employable at the global level. So adoption of flexible curricular structure in order to enable creative combination, because curriculum is very, very important to achieve these set goals. So in this regard, adoption of flexible curricular structures in order to enable creative combinations of disciplinary areas for study in multidisciplinary context, that would also allow flexibility in course options that would be on offer to students, in addition to rigorous specialization in a subject or subject. So not only the students will undergo rigorously in a particular specialization of in his own interest, and another important is, along with this rigorous specialization, you will also, there is also flexibility to study the other the subjects which are very much interesting to you, and which adds to his specialization and makes him more specialization. So that kind of adoption of flexible in curricular structure is available under NEP. Then other transformative initiative in NEP are the undergraduate degree program will be either 3 or 4 years. So here is some confusion in Karnataka. They send us revised NEP. Prior to this government, the earlier government, the NEP was completely implemented as per the NEP draft, the center. So with the change in the guard in the state, they have brought certain changes in the earlier NEP. Changes are as follows. So earlier there was the undergraduate degree program are either 3 years or 4 years. Now they have made it undergraduate program is only for 3 years, and there is no major and minor system. All are equal. The three optional, the equal system they brought in again. And earlier there was a multiple entry and exit. That multiple entry and exit means after 1 year, I mean, after completion of 2 years, the student can exit the course with UG certificate. And after 2 years of diploma, after 2 years, the students the students can exit with a 2-year diploma program along with the field work. And earlier, in the earlier UG program, particularly the 4-year honors. In the 4-year honors, if he scores a certain CGPA beyond that, directly he was eligible for doing PhD without doing master's degree. If he studies 4-year UG with research component in the his 4-year honor, and if he gets certain CGPA of 7.5 or more, directly there was a provision to do PhD program. And another flexibility was after 4 years of UG with a major subject and minor, and doing certain the research component. For such students of 4 years UG honors, the PG will be for only 1 year. PG was only 1 year. So now with the change in the guard, these things are removed. That the no more the flexibility, particularly multiple entry and exit, and there will be only 3-year UG program as it was earlier, and there is no 4-year honor degree, and as usual 2 years master degree required for doing PhD. Okay, and do you have any questions? Whatever I said so far? Yes, please.
But actually in NEP, sir,
Yes, please.
they implemented, but fully they are not implemented.
True.
Yeah, there is a lot of problems. Choice of subject is very limited. Science
Yes.
student cannot study arts. Only.
True.
If it is implemented completely, it is okay, sir. But there are a lot of problems also.
Yes.
The teaching faculty is lack of teaching faculty in the institutions for 4th year. There's the problems everywhere, sir.
True, sir. True.
Yeah.
That is a confusion, as I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
We would have implemented NEP in toto, in line with UGC model curriculum. UGC brought a model curriculum in completely in spirit of NEP, the principles, including multiple entry and exit, whatever I said so far. The state government brought certain changes in it. According to state, recent the revised NEP, which we university got last year, there will not be any 4 years honors degree, and they removed the multiple entry and exit. So whatever I'm presenting is not this revised NEP, the central government NEP, because all UGC, MMTC are supposed to create awareness on NEP as per the UGC the model, because many participants may be belongs to other than Karnataka state. So undergraduate degree program of either 3 or 4 years duration with multiple entry and exit, and UG certificate after completing 1 year, that is completing 2 semesters, along with a field study of 4 credit. And if a student completes UG diploma after 2 years with a field study, he will get a diploma certificate. And after 3 years, he will get a bachelor degree undergoing 6 semesters. And a student can also opt 4 years bachelor degree. He is considered in the BA honors after 8 semesters program study. The 4-year bachelor degree program is considered is a preferred option, since it would provide the opportunity to experience the full range of holistic and multidisciplinary education. So this 4-year honors, through 4 years honors only, students can experience the full range of holistic and multidisciplinary education, in addition to a focus on chosen major and minors as per the
What
criteria.
about central universities, sir?
Central universities
Did
have
they-
completely
did they
implemented
implemented
NEP.
NEP? Okay.
Sorry?
I have doubted about that. Central
Central.
universities, yeah,
Please.
they are following the same 4 year degrees, huh?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Central University already they had the 4-year degree, that is honor program. It is only in Karnataka.
Karnataka.
Since many years we didn't know about this concept. Many colleges in Karnataka state, they have been undergoing the 4-year degree program, the honor degree program since many years. But even though the students undergo 4 years honors degree, for them, PG was compulsory 2 years. Okay. But in under the NEP, if you undergo 4 years degree honor, for them the PG is only 1 year. It left to them to go for 2 years PG or 1 year PG. And earlier, to do the PhD, the master degree was compulsory. Under the
Compulsory, yes.
NEP, if you undergo 4 years UG with honors and studying research component, yes, with scoring CGPA of more than 7.5 or 7, I don't know exactly, he can directly move to PhD program. He can skip the master degree. Such kind of provisions are already there in some of the Western universities in the world. That if you score well in the undergraduate and study resource component and having a deep specialization in a particular subject, the students can directly go to a PhD program by skipping master degree. But there are many challenges here. If a student skips the master degree, if he is interested to become a lecturer based on master degree qualification, what is his stature? For example, if he wants to become a lecturer in junior college, okay, to become a lecturer in junior college, yeah, master degree is very important.
Important.
But which score so we have to consider if he directly goes to from UG to PhD, because PhD we cannot get the score as we get in the master degree. So there are such kind of answers, questions which are not, we find the answers in the NEP. So these are the some of the administrative problems when we think of all these things. For instance, they said that if you undergo 4-year honors degree and PG is maybe for only 1 year, and he may not be need to study 2 years PG. And most importantly, what should be our syllabus of a first year PG? If, for instance, if a student study only 3 years and doesn't go to 4-year UG, if he wants to come to master degree, NEP says that he has to study 2-year master degree. So each first year master degree is equivalent to the 4th-year UG honors program. So that we need to understand, because if a student after completion of 4 years UG honors, we have to frame a syllabus for him only 1 year PG. Okay, and if a student he has undergone 3 years UG, for him we need to prepare a syllabus for 2 years PG. Okay. So there are, the certain challenges. Even today, there's no clarity on these issues. That is the fundamental problem. And already it is 5th year of NEP we are celebrating. I don't know. Maybe I'm not aware of the recent changes, but as far as my knowledge is concerned, so these are the questions which we need to address. Right, sir?
Okay, thanks.
Okay. So there are many participants. One is Sri, then Basavarajappa, Kavita. Can you hear me? Ashwini,
Yes, sir,
Gayatri.
we can hear you.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
We can hear you.
Yes, because this is a great challenge. If you don't mind, please, switch on your video, because I'm not able to see anyone except only one participant. Okay, the one participant who is interacting. If I'm right, Dakshinamurthy sir. Except Dakshinamurthy, I'm not able to see any other faces. But in our MMTC, we made it compulsory that the the participants' video must be on throughout the course, because we may not know whether the participants are listening properly or just they are logged in, and that is the issues. Okay, because purpose must be served. There are 50 more than 50 participants. Okay. Just I was telling about the structure of NEP, that UG degree, that what transformative initiation has been made. As I said, the 4-year bachelor degree program is considered to a prepared option to provide the opportunity to experience complete full-fledged holistic and multidisciplinary discipline education under NEP. Other transformative initiative in NEP are inclusion of credit-based courses and projects. So this is uniform throughout the country, that the marks are converted into credit, and new courses are included, like environmental education, value-based education, courses relating to skill, and courses relating to the certain the courses which helps the improve the employability and skill. So when it comes to environmental education, it try to include areas such as climate change, pollution, waste management, sanitation, conservation of biological diversity, the management of biological resources. So these are the very, very important for a bachelor degree holder to understanding, have a clear understanding about surrounding of his environment. As you know, the environment is degrading very fast, and there are great challenges for future environment. And it is very, very important for each and everyone to have a, clear understanding, and most importantly, how to conserve it, how to preserve it, and how to make it our development sustainable. And more of we have to think of future living as well. So in this regard, environmental education, they added, particularly in the areas such as climate change, pollution, whatever I said. So for biological resources and biodiversity, forest, wildlife conservation, most important, and sustainable development and living. And another important transformative initiative in education we find is value-based education. That is very essential. That is the need of the hour in this country, looking at the diversities and the recent the changes which are disturbing the society. That is value-based education is very, very important. This value-based education includes development of humanistic. That is most important. The development of humanistic approach should be there, and importantly, it focus on ethical, constitutional, the respect for constitutional is very, very important. Universal human values of truth, conduct, righteous, peace, love, non-violence, scientific temper, citizenship value, and life skills. These are very essential for our the young educated youth. That value-based education. And another transformative initiative in NEP we find is lessons in service and participation in community service program, which is very important, which creates a leadership and harmony and peace, and working togetherness is very, very essential. So the lessons in services and participation in community services program to an integral part of holistic education. Then another transformative initiative include global citizenship. Looking at the recent geopolitics at the global level, they are very scary. Nations of the world are more of inward looking. They are thinking their country first. The welfare of their citizen is first. Earlier, the philosophy of global citizenship, global peace, global welfare, avoiding poverty and hunger, any corner of the world, where all, together they used to find the solution of the global problems. Today, things are getting changed very fast. The today's policy, they get changes within hours without, like a children quarrel in the street. The leaders' decisions are very much, the changing fast. So in this regard, it is very, very important that we need to have education which focus on global citizenship. We, the citizens of the world, aims for bringing welfare and peace and prosperity in each and every corner of the world. So bringing peace and prosperity in each and every corner of the world is very important for betterment of all the nations. The country today we tell about that we don't need such country, we don't need that country, we want to completely ruin this country. We want to, remove this country map in the world. So such kind of, the ideology should not come in our mind. So in this regard, the NEP, the initiative is very, very important. It try to bring global citizenship, education for sustainable development to form an integral part of the curriculum. To empower learners become aware of and understand global and sustainable development issues and become active promoters of more peaceful, tolerant, inclusive, secure, and sustainable societies at a global level. So these are very, very essential among our young students. Another important transformative initiative in NEP are students to provide with opportunities. There is plenty of flexibility, particularly in terms of undergoing internship, maybe at the local industry level, at the international level, which according to which suits their interest. If somebody student interested in artist, craft, and wants to take part in local industry in business, no, there are opportunity for such internship for such field. Okay, so and another, the transformative initiative are the reorienting teaching programs to ensure the development of capabilities across a range of disciplines, which includes science, social science, arts, humanities, languages, as well as vocational subject. This would involve, they try to offer the programs, courses of study relating to language, literature, music, philosophy, under single umbrella. There's a flexibility of the students to to take such disciplines of various varieties across the discipline. So this is what NEP is of multidisciplinary. Okay. Yes. Yes, somebody is talking. Raj Kumar. Yes, Raj Kumar. So in a nutshell, so we can see NEP more of provides flexibility to move from one discipline to study another. For instance, a art student can study science paper under NEP. A literature students can study science paper. If a literature students in the master degree or UG wants to study the science subjects like physics, chemistry, so they are allowed. Of course, after undergoing certain training as a bridge course. And you may not be surprised if you look at the NEP, the main text. For instance, if you are an art student, of course, we are not implemented, but in the NEP it is there. If he or she was, passed the class 12, say art student, if he or she wants to pursue medical education, there is a provision, but provided he has to undergo bridge course to take such a kind of specialization. I mean, changing their stream. So there is huge flexibility and facilitating multiple entry and exit options, which I said just now. There's a flexibility for students to move from one to another institution as well. Not only in the state, district, even abroad also. He can do some portion of his UG in India and some portion of his UG abroad. UGC has recently brought out with the guidelines that under the twinning joint degree program, a student can do the certain portion of degree in India and certain portion of his or degree other countries of the world. Of course, implementation mechanism and MOU all kinds of are required. That kind of flexibility, first time in the world, in the country, we see that the students are given such kind of opportunity, say, to move from one another institute to, in order to enable them, make it multidisciplinary learning. Okay, and there's also huge flexibility in terms of offline and online. 40% of the total UG course, a student can do it online. He can do both online and offline. So if somebody wants to study under somebody else in Delhi or some institution in Delhi through online, that provision is there. If a North Indian student wants to do some courses of South Indian colleges through online, that provision is there. Certain the flexibility is given in terms of, say, certain proportion of the courses they can do online, certain proportion of their courses they do offline, and the degree will be awarded by where he has enrolled through offline. And most importantly, flexibility in terms of ODL hybrid mode is also there. He can do through ODL, open distance learning. He can do hybrid mode, some portion. You know, open distance learning and some courses regular mode. So NEP offers huge flexibility. That is the reason NEP is called learner centric. Okay. Of course, full-fledged NEP implementation is not yet taken place in this country. As it is being said, NEP cannot be implemented at one stroke. NEP is implemented. No, it's a process. It takes time for full-fledged implementation or in toto implementation of NEP. So we can summarize these principles, in terms of the following objectives. So the main objectives of NEP are make education universal, that universal access to quality education, that is ensuring education for all individuals. So, and another objective is holistic and multidisciplinary education, that integrating various disciplines. Today, there are clear bifurcate boundaries between the department, physics department, chemistry, political science, economics. So such kind of silos will not be there under NEP. So NEP try to integrate various disciplines under single umbrella. So various disciplines for a well-rounded education and equity and inclusion. As I said, the earlier two education policy of 1968 and 96 made the objectives of equity and inclusion but failed in implementation. But this NEP, by taking cue from the earlier education policy, tried to make equity and inclusion in higher education by providing equal opportunity for all the students of the country. An emphasis on conceptual understanding. That is most important for betterment of for better dissemination of knowledge and its application. And another important is critical thinking and creativity and respect for diversity and local context. So these are the main pillar of NEP 2020. Universal access, quality education, holistic and multidisciplinary education, equity and inclusion, focusing on conceptual understanding, promotion of critical thinking and creativity, and most importantly, respect for diversity and local context. Then what are the issues? The major issues with regard to NEP, the conceptualization of multidisciplinary approach. This is most important. How do you conceptualize both multidisciplinary and holistic? It is well said that NEP aims for try to bring the multidisciplinary and holistic education. True, but how to conceptualize these two approach? Of course, you try to integrate various disciplines and holistic education and all these things. The another issues related to strategies for implementation. So it is said that the strategy for implementation are through curriculum design, So the curriculum will be designed in a such a way that which aims to fulfill the basic principles of NEP. So the key strategy for implementation, interdisciplinary courses, and collaborative teaching methods. These are the three strategies which are said to implement NEP. That the curriculum design is the most important, where teachers are all involved in the curriculum design, and interdisciplinary courses where the administration come into picture, how to make various courses interdisciplinary. Then most importantly, collaborative teaching methods at national and global level. Challenges in implementation. That this is really challenging. There will be institutional resistance. Even the certain state government also registered. We're not happy to accept and implement the NEP, and most importantly, the resource constraint, problem of infrastructure, particularly the faculty and the trained faculty. So why NEP is not able to move fast as it was expected in the year 2002. When the NEP was implemented in the year 2020, there was a huge, the news which is, Karnataka is the first state in the country to implement NEP in 2020. And I think our university has, is the first to come forward to implement NEP. Karnataka University is the first state university to implement NEP. We implemented in that year itself, where other universities in the state and country implemented after a gap of 1 year. So, the resource constraints are there, faculty and faculty training are required, uh, and the other issues are the potential outcomes and impacts. Yes, with this, I try to